What's going on, everybody? It's me, Kenny from DFS Experts. I'm going to break down this 14-game slate for you real quick. Let's just jump right into it. Pitching tonight is going to be very top-heavy for me. Chase Anderson's about the cheapest I'll go. Maybe CC Sabathia against the White Sox, but Chase Anderson's probably pretty popular, I'd imagine. For me, it's going to be Carrasco against Minnesota. I'm going to ride that wave from what Bauer did yesterday to Minnesota. And not so much that I think Scherzer's going to be a bad play. It's just that Scherzer's so damn expensive. I mean, he's 11.9 on FanDuel, 13.9 on DraftKings. Carrasco, you get a $2,500 difference on DraftKings, $1,300 on FanDuel. And they could very well give very similar performances. With Scherzer, you got to worry about all those Atlanta bats: Freeman, Albies, Markakis, Inciarte, Acuna, even the catchers, whoever, Flowers or Suzuki. Any of those guys can take them deep. And again, at that price, 13.9, you're expecting something like 7-8 innings, over 10 Ks, and less than 2 earned runs. And I don't think that Scherzer can give you that. I'm more confident that Carrasco can. If you want to go down to Greinke, that'd be perfectly fine too. It's just not a day where you can go and for me, I don't think you can go bottom of the barrel unless you want to go real contrarian. You think that Felix Hernandez and Bartolo Colon are going to pitch like they did 10 years ago, that sort of deal. I don't think that's going to happen, but hey, who knows? That's just not something I'm gonna stack that against both of those guys. But I'm just saying that if you're looking to get really creative, I mean, there's some ways to go. It's just you can't get too crazy today because the pitching just doesn't allow you the flexibility that you normally could. At least on DraftKings. FanDuel's always a little bit different. You can get especially the Texas like the last week or two, the Texas hitters before Oder went crazy. He was under 3,000. Chu was right at 3,000 Profar. But the Seattle side of that, Healy, Zuninu, Seager, even D. Gordon, Span, all those guys are very reasonably priced on FanDuel. DraftKings is going to be a little more difficult for you to do. If you're looking for a contrarian game to stack other than the Seattle-Texas game and the Coors game, look at Cincinnati against the Mets. And, I mean, all I got to say is Sal Romano and Jason Vargas. Those are the pitchers. If you know anything about either one of those guys, you know that they are fucking terrible. So, against Vargas, Suarez, Peraza, Phillip Ervin, Kirk Casale. And then for the Mets, the guy I'm going to tell you about is Jeff McNeil. He did good for me yesterday. He's been hitting the ball well since he got called up. 2,700 on FanDuel, 3,400 on DraftKings. If you were going, stud pitching on a line on DraftKings, that's the kind of guy you're going to need to fill out your lineup. But that game in general, the weather's pretty humid. The wind's blowing out. The Mets and Reds are not two teams you would look at and be like, yeah, I need to stack that game. But in this case, if you're looking to get different again, and if you're going with stud pitching, I would go that route to be a little different in GPPs. Cash games, you're going to look to try to get as much, Colorado, Pittsburgh, and Seattle, Texas as you can. Some Cleveland, some Boston. But it's just going to be, you're just going to have to find a route and go with it. And if there's one contrarian route to go, I'd go Cincinnati and the Mets. Other than that, you've got, Rich Hill against Sean Manaea. I could low-key see some runs being scored in that game, even though both those pitchers are pretty good. Stack the righties on both sides if you're wanting to get weird. But I think that's going to be more along the lines of like with Scherzer. Like the hitters that I mentioned, the Freeman and the Albies and all those. I'm not saying you should play them because it's just too much money to spend up to, get shit on. But on the Dodgers side, actually Kiki Hernandez, Matt Kemp, Chris Taylor, Justin Turner, all those guys on FanDuel should be reasonably priced. So you can go that route there. And that's pretty much it, y'all. Weather isn't too much of an issue anyway, other than, places being humid or whatever. We shouldn't see any rainouts or anything like that. But yeah, I just want to do something real quick for y'all. I know that the last week I put a video out on Monday and said I was going to put one out on Tuesday. What ended up happening was my wife she was declared cancer free. We went and celebrated, took a little day trip, and then when we came back here in North Carolina, it rained like crazy on Tuesday through Thursday, and my basement was flooded. So I've been running Bissell dehumidifiers, getting sweeping water out of here. That mildew smell, man, it's awful. So that's really what I've been doing the last week. I apologize again for not putting out videos as often as I'd like to, but I'm gonna double up on today. For those of y'all who play PGA, I'm gonna do a PGA video. I'm gonna put that on later on this evening. That's gonna be longer than these videos. I try to keep these between like 5 to 7 minutes. The PGA one, I'm gonna go a little longer because I'm gonna not just attack it from a DFS perspective, but from a betting perspective. So any of you guys that are, whether you're playing DFS or whether you're betting on some golfers, we're gonna cover some routes there. See if we can make you some money. A couple ways, but that's it for the baseball. Those of y'all that want more info, go to dfsexperts.com, get the spreadsheet, and then go to our Facebook room, DFS Experts, and get into the chat. We got baseball, NASCAR, and golf going right now. Football spreadsheets will be up here in the next week or so. Get in your satellites for the Millionaire Tournament on both sites, guys and girls. And that's it, y'all. I hope you have a good day today. Like and subscribe to the page, and I will see you later on tonight and break down some PGA. Peace.